Greetings YouTube, this is Remarkable Republican and I'm here today to talk about the story of why exactly the South was the good guy during the war between the states, or as Yankees like to call it, the Civil War. The dominant liberal story of the Civil War is that the victorious North defeated the evil South and freed the slaves, and everyone was super happy ever after. This story is complete nonsense and has spawned many myths. I will list these myths and then unprove them one by one. 1. Abraham Lincoln was a great American president, possibly the best. 2. The war was fought over slavery. 3. Slavery was immoral and illegal. 4. Grant, Sherman, and other Yankees were as good as Lee and Jackson. The truth about Lincoln is that without him, the war between the states would not have happened at all. Lincoln was a Republican, but in those days the Republicans were radical left-wing liberals who wanted to massively expand the federal government. They were driven by ideology to no less a degree than Marx, Lenin, and Stalin. Lincoln thought that the federal government should have superior legal power compared to the states, which is not at all the intention of the Founding Fathers. In early America, each state had the right to make its own money. Coin money, by the way, not worthless paper. Lincoln was not ignorant. He was willfully acting against the Constitution of the United States, and he disguised his betrayal of his country and his office by crushing the South. Lincoln established a strong federal government which was little short of fascist. As I have already argued, the war was really about states' rights at its heart. Slavery was only a minor policy issue. Abolitionists in the North didn't like it, but they lived in places like Massachusetts where it was too cold to farm. When the South left the Union, it was to preserve the rights of the states to set their own laws as the Founding Fathers intended. People were just as concerned with their rights to make trade deals with foreign countries without the intervention of Washington bureaucrats, avoiding taxes on imports and making sure that their states had business-friendly tax environments, as they were about keeping slavery, which is the only way to do farming in a big way without modern technology. Slavery was not immoral because it was not a moral issue. You will observe that slavery is upheld in the Bible so long as you treat your slaves in a certain way. A few slave owners in the South were probably bad people, but most were Southern gentlemen who looked after their slaves. It was much easier being a slave than living in tribalistic West Africa getting your head chopped off by savages. Slaves were educated for farm work and learned skills they wouldn't have learned in Africa. The Founding Fathers understood that there were some men born to lead and others born to be led, a lesson a lot of liberals today can't process. There is nothing wrong with slavery. I personally don't think it should be based on race, but allowing slavery is not morally objectionable in any way, and its elimination by Lincoln was a deep blow to private property and free enterprise. The last myth is that the North had generals who were just as good as the heroes who fought and died trying to preserve American freedom in the war between the states. If Robert E. Lee had been the commander of the Army of the Potomac, the South would have been conquered by New Year's Day of 1862. The North had millions of more men, better railroads, better muskets, better and more cannons, better and more horses, and all of America's ships. Any idiot could win this war that Lincoln nearly lost. In this way, Obama is like Lincoln in that neither of them are capable of serving as commander-in-chief. But this is a longer story that I'll tell in a future video where I give the history of the war between the states. This has been Remarkable Republican, the man who brings you the truth with a truth-flavored bias.